What's going on, guys?
This is the convention phase. This is the 3 days under bright lights, talking. It hurts.
I was only there one day, but I actually worked the other 2 days, so...
Yeah. But yes, we will try to inject some energy, for it is New Comic Day. Comics should smell good, as they always do. I hope you haven't gotten your fill of comic books for the week. We know probably a vast amount of you weren't able to get in because it was expensive and sold out really quickly. Yeah. So, it's okay. We've got comics for you here. You didn't miss anything, no worries. Stan Lee was really expensive. He wasn't worth the autograph anyway.
I saw his forehead.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. But we got a lot, so we're going to get right into it. Mr. Morgan, would you like to, you're in the middle here, would you like to start?
Why not? My first book for you is Rick and Morty, #1 from Oni Press. Yes, this is Rick and Morty as in the insanely hilarious Cartoon Network Adult Swim show about an aging, irresponsible mad scientist and his, I believe, grandson. Grandson. Rick, the scientist, Morty, the small child. He's all struggling with, puberty and stuff like that, and then his grandpa is like, oh, also I'm gonna take you to all these other dimensions and make you shove pine cones up your butt and have you get eaten by all sorts of beasts, and it's really just an awful time for him, and only terrible things happen in this comic. It's amazing, just like the show.
Sounds like Filler Bunny or something, Jesus. Will, you want?
Sure, I will start it off with, I'm going to do blow these guys' minds and start off with the DC book this week. This is the grand finale. This is Batman Eternal number 52. The year-long story finally comes to an end.
Yes.
The last Now, there've been
no comment.
Okay. Anyway, it started great and it's kind of ending great. At least I think so anyway. We could debate that later. But just when you thought you knew who the real mastermind was of this thing and you're like, huh? And it turns out there was another mastermind behind the whole thing. And it all, if you've been reading Scott Snyder's New 52 since the beginning, it all goes back to before Court of Owls and even Year Zero. And it's awesome. And there's some moments in here that makes you want to pledge allegiance to the bat signal and make you want to move to Gotham City. So there you go.
That's some big words over there. Wow.
I mean, it takes a lot to make someone want to move.
Right?
There.
And a lot
Professor
of
Marvel here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of awesome spoiler moments and Bluebird moments and pledge allegiance to the bat signal. There you go.
Wow.
Next.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm coming in fist flying from Marvel Comics over here. What the? Almost the end of Iron Fist, the Living Weapon. Kyle Andrews, writing, drawing, coloring. This is totally him. I love this comic. He was there at the con this past week, and hopefully you went by and told him how amazing he was.
I did.
Because you should.
And he drew a little Iron Fist on my book.
Very nice. See, nice guy, obviously. But yeah, Danny Rand is in the pooper here. Giant, crazy, existential, demon flaming god is here to kill all life. And of course, the man with the Iron Fist is the only person that can save him. Or save the universe, or save the, New York, or wherever the hell he lives these days. But yeah, Iron Fist should be awesome. Only one more issue left, very sad. But, anyway.
My next pick is jumping over all the way to Japan for a personal favorite of mine. This is the new edition of Junji Ito's Gyo, The Death Stench Creeps.
Man, that is amazing.
Is it not an amazing
the Death
title?
Stench Creeps. That's beautiful.
And wow. I first discovered this, Junji Ito is one of those artists who, if you're on Tumblr, you'll see, 5,000 images of, isolated panels and stuff getting reblogged with, deep captions and stuff. But I first read his stuff upon finding the 2-volume edition that I think Dark Horse did a while back at Value Village, and it kind of blew my mind. It starts out as a horror story about a couple vacationing who run into a shark with legs on land. And then a bunch of other fish start coming in, with these legs, these creepy, mechanical legs that bore into their bodies. And then it takes that at the end of the first book and just flips it on its head, and sort of in the same way as The Wake did. It just gets weird. Way weird. This has also got 3 or 4 short stories, like the Enigma of Anmagara Fault, which is one of his best stories ever. So for a fan of horror manga, or just really weird stuff, Yo.
Yo. I'm gonna blow your mind again. I'm gonna do another DC book.
Oh my God.
What is happening?
Convergence Zero. Here's the thing. There's moments when it's like Spartacus but Brainiac. I am Brainiac. Now here's the thing. This is the big thing. If you miss, this is Crisis of Infinite 0 Hour Flashpoint Earths. It's pretty much everybody who's not around anymore in the DC universe past. They're all here. There's every Superman you ever wanted, and they're all here. And basically what happened is Crazy Brainiac has been collecting all these dead worlds, which are basically our old continuity of the DC universe, in these domed things, and he's been letting them live there in all these different worlds. And then something comes along, and they're all opened up, and it's a free-for-all with all these different versions of your DC heroes. But if you love Superman, there's all kinds of Supermans of every kind you want in here, and it's a big 2-month. This is basically the next. This is DC Comics for the next 2 months as they do some big transition and relaunch again in June. But if you're nostalgic, this is the book for you.
But is there Shade the Changing Man? Is there Brother Power the Geek?
Man, I hope
I mean, do they really have everything?
Wow. I don't think they have everything you want.
Well, I don't think
But-
that's to be expected.
Maybe Doom Patrol?
Actually,
I could go in for a bit of Doom Patrol.
Okay.
Anyway, from Magnetic Press out of California comes their first single issue, Poet Anderson the Dream Walker. This is created by the dude from Blink-182. Don't hold it against it. And to be perfectly honest, the premise for the comic is kind of like whatever, I mean, it's like a lucky few who live in the dreaming world. Some are lucid dreamers and they can dream, and they're in control. Others are helpless and they must be protected by mysterious guardians known as Dreamwalkers. Ooh. But I'm talking about this book because it is friggin' gorgeous. Oh my God. He got this dude, Jet? I don't know. Never heard of him, but man, it's amazing. Takes place, I mean, it's got this really great, like, fantasy, supernatural kind of French feel, really nice city stuff. It's got that good mix of, like, really good lighting and color that will clearly make up for, whatever might be lacking a little in the story. But, I mean, come on, you know me, I don't even read comics, so.
Yeah, what do you know?
I mean, what do I know? Sheesh.
Oh, boy. My next pick here is another debut, this time from Image Comics, the team of Alex DeCampi, Carla Speed McNeil, and Jen Manley Lee.
Yay.
All-female creative team, and they're not even making a big issue out of it.
You know why? Because it's
Crazy,
Alex
right?
DeCampi.
Because they
and
just
Carla
want to
Speed
make
McNeil.
some awesome comics about
Exactly.
horrible things happening to people.
Teenagers.
This is No Mercy, about a group of American teenagers who go on a relief mission to Central America before their first year of college to help out and just do the whole, there's a really good word for it that I'm not remembering. Oh, voluntourist thing. And, of course, something awful happens to them at the end of the issue, and they're stranded, and they have to fend for themselves. A bunch of sort of upper class, just generally not really exposed to anything horrible in their lives, Americans put in a horrible situation where they just don't know what to do. And it's a really interesting setup, and Alex DeCampi has proven that she can make plenty and plenty of horrible things happen to people.
Exactly.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I really, really like reading comics about bad things happening to people who don't necessarily deserve it.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up like that.
It is. Will?
I'm going to try to follow that one. Black Bolt. Black Bolt is one of the coolest, most awesome guys in comics. He doesn't have to say a lot, because when he does, he will destroy a world. But here's the thing. This kind of finally picks up. This is based Uncanny Inhumans 0 by Charles Soule and Steve McNiven, who I got to meet both of them this weekend at Comic-Con. McNiven, you're such a nice guy. It was awesome. But anyway, here, so, during Infinity, there was a big showdown with Thanos, and so Black Bolt decided to destroy Attilan, and he unleashed the Terrigen Bomb, and he unleashed new humans all over the planet. And then his son went missing in action. So this kind of finally, he's kind of behind the scenes, and in Inhuman, Medusa's been kind of like holding it together, rebuilding New Attilan, gathering all these cool new humans. So Black Bolt is back. What's he been doing? What's he up to? There is a big showdown with a major classic Avengers villain, and you find out what's all involved with that, and how it also ties into what's been going on in Avengers and New Avengers and the Illuminati. But look, it's Black Bolt, who I love. It's Steve McNiven drawing it. Just pay your respects and all hail Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. From Boom Studios in Archaea comes Halogen #2. The Spera team of Josh Tierney, Afu Chen, and Yanni Miloniani. That is a hard word to say, man. Bring you the second issue of this sci-fi kind of police adventure. This one sees the start with really cool future concert scene, because you always need the cool concert scene. Holographic squirrels, and all sorts of other fun, amazing things. But I'm loving the color on this. A lot of feel of like Ron Wimberly, for sure. So if you're really aching for some more fun sci-fi stuff, especially now the Prophet's kind of in limbo, Halogen.
Bit more sci-fi for you over here with Marvel's current cash cow. They've got a new Star Wars series debuting, Kanan, The Last Padawan. This is explaining the backstory of one of the characters of the current Star Wars Rebels animated series, written by showrunner Greg Weisman, who also worked on, like, Young Justice, I think, and a ton of other cartoons. This is drawn by Pepe Larraz and colored by David Curiel. And we've also got in this week reprints of Star Wars Darth Vader #1 and 2 to follow up the issue 3, which is apparently a hot comic right now, which we've still got plenty of. So, you know where to get those.
Kieran Gillen, another Emerald City Comic Con guest, and he was awesome. He was my first people that I met were the Wicked and Divine team. So what a great way to start off my Comic Con. Another great Marvel one. Here's Alan Davis. That's all I need to say, and I will get this book. But this is one of 4 new Avengers books. He's gonna have one a little bit later. But yes, there's a lot of Avengers going on because there's this movie coming out next month, I think. But anyway, this is Ultron Forever. This is Al Ewing, who writes Loki and writes Mighty Avengers, and the great Alan Davis. And so what happens is Doctor Doom from the future assembles his own Avengers team, and look at what an awesome, cool lineup this is. You got double the Thor. You've got, guess who? You'll never guess who this cool African American female Captain America is. It's really cool, and you got some classics. So it's great fun. It's the great thing. It's time streaming. It's here and there. It's crazy wacky teams up against Ultron. Plus you got Doctor Doom and all kinds of other crazy hijinks, and of course you have the great female Thor and the Black Widow that I love. So there you go. Some great alternate Avengers action this week with Alan Davis.
And that is following into 2 other Avengers Ultron Forever one-shots.
Millennium is also this week. Uncanny Avengers is also this week, and New Avengers is also this week. The next to last issue before time runs out.
Not as confusing and a bit easier to follow. Space Riders #1 from Black Mask, Alexis Zarit, Fabian Rangel Jr. This is awesome. You might have seen Alexis Zarit stuff on covers for Boom. He also did the awesomely amazing self-published book called Meccano Turbo, which if you ever find, you should certainly pick up. But this is one of the most metal space things ever to be produced in comic form. It's a friggin' skull spaceship that shoots laser beams from it, which is so metal, obviously, right there. There's like cool cyborg dudes. There's giant baboon guys. There are like space Viking Raider things.
Dude, don't spoil the whole thing for him.
They're already gonna buy it. Dang, really? It's awesome.
And my last pick for you here is the new Marvel OGN, which, of course, is another Avengers title, and another Ultron book. Whoa! This is Rick Remender, Jerome Pena, and Pepe Larraz, Avengers Rage of Ultron, featuring a moon-sized Ultron. That's all I gotta say.
Right.
And there's a classic, you may love him or you may hate him, but there is an old school Avenger who makes a big comeback in this. It's connected to Thanos somehow. Anyway, there's a hint. And my final book, The Black Vortex, just keeps on spinning. It spins into Cyclops this week, and so you know the whole thing. If you don't, you should be getting it. The Black Vortex is this crazy ancient mirror, and it's this artifact that really empowers, and it gives you this ultimate power, and with the ultimate power comes
Ultimate responsibility?
Irresponsibility, in a way, yes. It's and so in this one, it's young Cyclops and X-Men and Groot and the Starjammers, and they're dealing with, I mean, you talk about the cool spaceship. So this has got a space whale with big old teeth that's been flying through it, and with the guys called the the Death Slayers, the Star Slayers. Anyway, they're really
Death
cool.
Slayers.
Anyway, there's
Sounds
a
like
bunch
Marvel UK or
I
something.
know, there's
over
a bunch
here.
of cool crazy villains in this. Well, once again, what happens when certain heroes, succumb to and are tempted by the power of the Black Vortex? It's wrapping up and it goes into Captain Marvel next week. So there you go.
And my final pick this week, Dallas Merchant and the Keepers of the Blood Mandala, book very near and dear to my heart, written by me, and art by Damian Harris. The team that brought you Gutter Town brings you a supernatural tattoo occult adventure in the vein of Big Trouble in Little China if it was like a Saturday morning cartoon. And the first issue follows Dallas, who's a young girl living in America, searching for her grandfather, who was lost many years ago, and she's a master of the Mandala magics. And using them, she ropes this kind of ex-space marine lunkhead named Sid Vigil, and along with her pug named Attila the Tongue, they go on this grand adventure across the megazars of New Delhi and the secret deserts of the surrounding areas and ancient pyramids and fight, evil gods and stuff like that. It's fun, it's goofy, it's the newest thing that I have done, so you should buy it! Because
It's got a cool pug in it.
It's got an awesome pug that's real. I tell you, this tongue is not an exaggeration. Sam, the monkey, has seen it. It's real. It's huge.
Casey, I honestly can't believe this shameless self-promotion. I'm offended, honestly. It's almost like who are you to just go out here and show off a comic that you worked on?
You're just
trying
jealous.
to sell it to people.
You're just jealous.
I mean, it's almost like, what?
What? And then you're just gonna bust this out, huh?
Yeah, maybe. There's this other really cool thing, which you'll find right next to Dallas Merchant on the racks in the creator-owned, self-published local section. This is Nemesis Enforcer #1.
Yay.
It's an all-local anthology, heavy metal style. It's all big and wide and awesome, and it's nothing but comics. There are no ads in this thing, man. And I might have a couple pages in it or something.
I'm ashamed of both of you because who would come on here and say, go to comicsblend.com, a website all about comic books. Oh, sorry. That's mine. And I'll have more previews and all this stuff, and maybe their stuff too.
Will's cutting in on our stuff. I'm
Sorry.
cutting this. We're done.
Exactly,
We're done.
done.